Okay.
Because it's like the headphones kind of like I got comfortable last week, but now it's like a whole new comfort. Now I got to listen to myself.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
All right. So,
Yeah, let's go. Shout out to EcoStar, our sponsor.
alrighty, guys. So this is part 2, but part 1 you're never gonna see that one. You're just gonna see clips. So I'm sorry to tell you guys, but there's no introduction for this man because this man's the man, the myth, the legend, one of the biggest stars coming out of Chicago, one of the best entrepreneurs coming out of Chicago, the Windy City, Hani.
What's up, man? That was a big introduction.
I'll make it a little bit shorter.
No, that it's cool though. What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Dude, we're good. We're good. I know last time we touched topics on different things and we kind of jumped into it. A lot of people hit me up and just like, dude, you always put GoldCoast on your story. You always put GoldCoast this. You always put GoldCoast that. What is GoldCoast, right?
Yeah.
I want you to explain that to them.
Sure. GoldCoast, August of 2020. Yeah, August of 2020. I was walking around the neighborhood and I noticed a for lease sign on a store front on Chicago and Clark, and I walked in, checked it out. I had this idea of doing like a convenience store. I lived in the area and I had a hard time like finding things that I like or certain things and whatever. But I found this location and it was gonna be a pharmacy. And when I told the landlord that, I would do a convenience store, he was more excited for that. He saw, more long-term. Yeah, so when we started with a liquor store. We opened February 10th of 2021. We started off a full convenience store with a deli, and we had a really successful first 3 years in business. We had a lot of fun. First couple of years, we got to do a lot of cool things, which helped build our brand up in the area. We had a deli inside the cafe and inside the market, and we wanted to separate the brands and kind of like try to build 2 brands at the same time. And so we took the deli out and put it across the street since the space was available, and we started Gold Coast Cafe. And ever since then, with Gold Coast Market, Gold Coast Cafe, and Gold Coast Beauty Spa coming soon. People just, call us the Gold Coast guys.
So with that going on, let's trace back a little bit for the start of Gold Coast, right? I wanna talk about the birth of Gold Coast. What made it an idea to even start this?
I lived in Scottsdale from November to March. I moved back one day before the lockdowns, and when the lockdowns happened, I was not working for like a month. I have an uncle that runs a store in the South Loop, and he was making a shit ton of money, talking crazy numbers. And I'm like, well, there's no way that this is what you're doing right now. If the world's about to shut down, the only thing that they're leaving open is essential businesses, and convenience store was one of them. And that was like the easiest for me to get into, because everything else was like medical or stuff that I'm not qualified for. So, but the convenience store business was, it just happened. It wasn't something that I ever thought I would do. Just a conversation with family, and I like to make money, so I was like, hey, let's get in this business.
I wanted to ask you, like, what's the process like owning like a convenience store? Because for all the people that are like wondering how you did it, like, what was the process like?
It's just like any business, it's just managing, just knowing how to manage, your inventory, your team, and just the day-to-day operations. And once you can figure out how to manage that, you can run a successful business. And it was challenging like the first few months, because I don't drink. There was a lot to learn, from starting from scratch and like filling up inventory. And yeah, it was challenging, but it was a lot of fun. But it's really just management. If you know how to manage people and you have a system, you could run a successful business. It's not that hard.
Do you think COVID actually helped you a little bit in a sense of way, or do you think it actually didn't really help?
No, I think I picked the right area. I think the area that we're in, I think it needed a convenience store. It's a high traffic area, regardless if I'm here or not. I think any business that would have went in there would have been successful. It just so happened to be us.
That's dope, man. Because mostly with the Gold Coast market, what kind of sparked up our attention is the celebrities, the people you actually had in the market.
Yeah.
Like Kendall Jenner. Was it Kendall Jenner?
Yeah.
Kendall Jenner and all these other influencers. How do you get in contact with them?
Instagram. I would just tag, their brands before, blew up as brands. And so it was like a lot easier to probably get in contact with them. So I took advantage of that. I started with Onda, tequila seltzer, and, Shane Mitchell, resharing a bunch of like posts that I would tag her in. Definitely helped out a lot, probably caught, 818's attention, and that's how the whole Kendall Jenner thing happened. So that was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun. Right after Kendall Jenner, Aaron Paul FaceTimes me. So, that was the next one.
How's the FaceTime like? What he say?
He's like, why am I not in your store?
Oh, shit.
You had dinner with him the other night too as well, right?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, he was, him and Bryan Cranston, they're in town. So, they invited us out. Pretty cool.
So when you do these like collaborations in your market, what you get no payment, you don't pay them, right?
Nothing.
So what do you do it just for awareness, right? Strategic marketing or
Yeah, just marketing. I don't have a budget to like spend on like social media ads. I don't, market flyers. We don't do promos, outside of our store. We have high overheads, so, every dollar counts. So it really just, it was really out of the love from all of them. And, they all helped out our business in a lot of ways. Can't pay for that type of promotion.
no?
You can't pay for a Kendall Jenner to come do a walkthrough at your store.
I think that was the only time I seen you with a beverage in your hand.
Oh,
The only time. I don't know if I'm gonna say that. We should cut that out. But that was the only
Yeah,
time I
yeah.
saw you with possibly.
He had to.
Yeah, that happened. And that was the last time. Yeah, no, that won't happen again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see yourself being in this position right now, being in this beautiful skyline of Chicago, sitting right here, owning what you have right now, 20 years back?
I thought I'd be a lot further in life. I was too busy playing around in my 20s, not taking it serious, and just wanting to go out every night, hang out with my friends at hookah lounges, play cards, smoke hookah, or go out, nightlife, whatever. So I think by the time I hit my 30s is when I like really started to like realize that I wasted probably like 10 years of my life just spending and going out and not really saving, and not where I want to be, not where I thought I would be. But we're getting started. I mean, it's getting there. I feel like I have the right momentum right now going with the cafe. So I think pretty soon I'll probably get caught up to my goals in the next 5 years.
I mean, what you're doing now is impressive already. But during your 20s, what were like your vices? What was your distractions?
Just trying to keep up everybody, people's lifestyle, and just wanting cool things and travel, and just typical like 20 stuff.
Was there anybody that you looked up to, like during that age, that you're like, oh, I want to have what he has?
I think there's a lot of people that we look at and we see, we want to live a life like that, but I don't think I looked up to anybody. Maybe sometimes I get motivated by some people, but I never looked up to anybody. I'm self-motivated, so I motivate myself because I want a better life for me and my family. Looking up to somebody, that person is not going to change your life. Looking up to them, you just, boost their ego. That's pretty much it. My family motivates me, wanting a better life for them. My son motivates me now.
Yeah.
That's my biggest motivation.
How's that like,
Man, that's
father?
the craziest experience. It's the best feeling ever. I can't even explain, like, until, eventually, if you guys want to have kids, until you guys have a kid, it's a feeling that you can't explain. The 5 a.m. wake up.
Yeah.
When you wake up at 5 a.m. and you have a kid and, they're just smiling, and it's like you stay up for like 2 hours just hanging out, playing with them. I mean, that's how my day starts. Like, that's my motivation right there.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So a part of him being your inspiration and firing you up, what else do you do, like, besides just like work, all this workload, all this thinking, all these people relying on you? What do you do to keep yourself going?
Well, since I got in the business 3 years in the market business, the one thing that I've been doing the last like 2 years is praying a lot. I pray 5 times a day. I haven't missed a prayer in the last 2 years. I do something better to get closer to, my religion. And, if I'm not working and I'm not spending time with my family, I'm praying. I'm asking for forgiveness for my past life, and I'm praying for a brighter and better future for me and my family. So that's what I do. I hang out with my family, I work all day, and then I pray throughout the day.
And I love that about you, because you're a really, really big like family guy. So I remember last time we were back at your little patio, you told us about your upcoming and growing up with your family, growing up in the South Side, but also too, like, hustling together as a pack, and also moving across the country and doing that with them. I want to touch more on that, because it's actually, I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about that. They're upcoming, especially as a minority,
Immigrant parents, first generation. My dad, I think, moved to the States in the late 70s. My mom, 1983 or 84, because my oldest brother was born in 85. My parents moved to Scottsdale, Arizona. Yeah, we've just been a close family our whole life. My parents, loved us and cared for us, and they always wanted the best for us, so they did the best that they could to provide. When my dad made money and saved a little bit of money, he would go take us on vacations. So that was a lot of fun. I moved to Jordan for like a year. The best year of my entire life was that year. And then I moved back to the States, and then life started. Because before I moved to Jordan, I grew up on the South Side, and it was just teenagers, running around the city and hanging out and playing basketball and just doing teenager stuff. Moved back from Jordan, and just life happened. I started working, but I've been working my whole life, but I really started to save money when I first started working at 17. But when I was a kid, at 13, 14, 15, working, I wasn't saving. I was making and spending. I was
Typical kid stuff.
yeah.
Typical kid stuff.
Yep.
When you managed IHOP, the cool story that stuck to me in Hurston was just like you ran everything at such a young age, but also got to be on set or be around the people of I think Man of Steel.
Superman, Man of Steel, yeah.
Superman, Man of Steel.
That was fun.
Yeah,
That was a funny story.
yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, I haven't never. This is my first time trying.
Yeah. Shout out to EcoStar Water. It's our official sponsor for this podcast. You can get it at Gold Coast Cafe. Also available at Gold Coast Market. But it's the official water at Gold Coast Cafe. It's my friend Brennan. It's his water company.
This is a refreshing.
I only support small businesses as much as I can.
I'm refreshed.
And he's a young guy, born and raised in the Gold Coast. He played basketball at Duke. After college, started the water company. And, this is his $1 billion dream. And I want to support it.
Does he do anything, this is off topic, does he do anything with pickleball players?
I mean, I don't even know.
Because a lot of pickleball players are like liking our stories and posts and
Yeah.
they're all pickleball players. Yeah.
Probably. Oh, you know what? You guys got to interview him because, he told me some stories the other day. His parents are like really big with like ESPN and stuff like that or something like that. And I think he did say pickleball. They started the pickleball tournament on ESPN. That's his parents or something
They're all
like that.
professionals. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
pro pickleball. And we're like,
Yeah.
what?
His family started like that league or something. Or I don't know.
That's
we'll
cool.
probably edit this part out as much as
Yeah.
you can, but definitely got to interview him.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
He got a really cool story. But EcoStar is our official sponsor, and get it at Gold Coast Cafe or Gold Coast Market.
Okay. Go to Gold Coast Market, Gold Coast Cafe. Check that out. So how do you approach when someone when you feel like a negative vibe about them or like you can't vibe with them? Like how do you sense that?
I mean, you just look at their ego. I avoid those people at all times. I never even let my energy even get close to their energy. I don't care for fame and status. I mean, that's not putting money on my table. Yeah, I mean, I look at everyone equal. I only look up to one person. That's our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's the greatest human being to ever live on this planet, and I wish to be like him. That's the only person I look up to.
I just asked too, just because you're just surrounded with like a lot of status people. I want to say it can get to people's heads or like the stories you're hearing too, and I feel like you're very humble about it too. But you also treat everyone equal too.
Yeah.
Like the event we went to, the taco event you had at the Gold Coast Market, which was actually good. They had like one of the best tacos, top five. But what do you want to do with the community, with the cafe and the market?
The cafe is my $1 billion ticket, I think. And earlier we were pulling up stats, and Subway's worth like 10 billion, but I think they have like 30,000 locations. I think we said Jimmy John's was like 1.7 billion, and they had like 3,800 locations. 1.7 billion. If I could remember correctly, Portillo's was a father and son business. I don't think they have more than 20 locations across the country, and they sold for over $1 billion. Gold Coast Cafe is a local brand, and I want to build it up into a $1 billion business. Now, how am I going to do that? I mean, I don't know. Every day I learn something new. The one thing is just surrounding yourself with people that have the same vision as you and that want to grow, that see the opportunity. It takes a village. I can't do it on my own, but, eventually I'll probably start on my second location soon. And then I'll probably do like, maybe 5, 10 max, maybe on my own before I get into like franchising. But, if I'm making good enough money, I won't franchise. I'll just keep opening them up on my own. And then I keep providing opportunities for people.
Do you plan on doing it all in Chicago?
Yeah, I think I want to flood the city with them. Start off in downtown, all over downtown, everywhere. It's everyday food. It's not that expensive with it. It's literally just food. You come in, get you a sandwich, go home, eat at the cafe, study, whatever. It's like your everyday, it's affordable.
Yeah. And it's like the setting is so comfortable. Like that's probably like my favorite part about it. Like you can go in there, feels amazing. Like you feel like you're at home.
So, I took over May 1st, the cafe. And when I took over May 1st, I committed to spending the whole summer there. So I had to set it up where it's like, like I would enjoy being in there every day. Like I'm not going to get bored. It's still a work in progress. I think by the end of this year, I'll be pretty happy with where I'm at, compared to when we first started. So, the menu completely changed. We still have our signature sandwiches. We still have breakfast, but we added a bunch of new other items. Like lunch specials, we have Philly steaks, which are amazing. You guys, I think you've tried it,
I
right?
tried the Philly steak. Yeah,
Philly steak is
really
pretty good. I think we have the best Philly steak in Chicago.
I'll actually agree with that one.
I'm gonna back that up. We have the best Philly steak in Chicago. Yeah.
No, and you know what I really like though is like you actually used like your friends and other businesses' names on the sandwiches, like Hove, the jeweler, Chi-Town Pauly. Like that's actually really cool.
Shout out to Big Hove. Hove is a fucking legend.
It's like you're marketing your close friends, but also too, it's actually cool because everyone's surrounded in the city, so like everyone's a whole.
Yeah.
So it takes a village, like I said earlier. So I look at all my friends. I would say almost every single one of my friends owns a business, or at least I want to surround myself with someone that owns a business because you can learn from people every day. And so I have all these friends that have whatever business that they're operating, and I have a somewhat like platform. I want to see my friends win. I want to see my friends make money. I want to see them grow their brands as well. And if there's any way that I can incorporate their brands with my brand and we build our brands together, it's all of us or none of us. They all got their signature sandwiches at the cafe. We got the Exotic Diamond. That's Hove the jeweler. We have Chi-Town Pauly, which is a really funny guy. He's pretty cool. He's not the grumpy old man. It's something else. I can't remember the quote, but I always think it's the grumpy old man, but I can't remember what his slogan is. But he's a funny guy. He talks a lot of shit. You guys should interview him. He'll probably talk shit the whole interview.
Yeah.
We have the Beast sandwich. That's my boy Jermaine. Jermaine's a fucking beast. He does like bodyguard work for like Little Baby and like a bunch of people. So we have the exclusive 773, which we released a clip shouting out my boy Steve. Shout out to Steve again. One of the most humble people to ever blow up, and he still is humble. And he's always trying to put people on. The Blazy Susan, which is that's the event that we just had the other day. Blazy Susan, Blazy Trey. What a legend. We might be doing something, there might be a Gold Coast Cafe Blazy Susan collab coming soon. We'll see. Anyone that has a business, we'll probably do an in your 20s special for you guys.
What would that look like though? What should we?
That's up to you guys. You guys decide the ingredients. I tell you all our ingredients and all our breads, and you guys, put it together and you say if you want to toast it or not. That's up to you guys. But hey, the more ingredients you use, the more expensive it gets.
We'll do the Mexican style, put Doritos in the sandwich and shit.
Yeah. And the menu is still in work in progress. So like every day, like I'm adding something new, or at least I'm, experimenting with something new. I'm trying to build $1 billion business. Yeah. So, I'm not going to build it with my current menu. So we have to keep evolving. Even if, I keep the same menu for the next year, I still want to, continue to keep experimenting on new ideas for maybe the next year as we continue to expand, because the location that we're at right now, which is on Chicago and Clark across the street from the Gold Coast Market, that's probably going to be my smallest location that we have. I won't go any smaller than that. And that's about 1,000 square feet.
You sent me photos when I first met you too. Like you sent me like 10 photos locations. Like one was like an O'Hare airport, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
One Arnold.
Shout out to my my AI.
Yeah. Like a whole setup. And this was like this was like a week before when I only knew you, which is actually crazy.
I would get blazy with Susan. I would talk to my AI and tell it my imagination. One of the ones where, what would a Gold Coast Cafe look like at O'Hare Airport? And it like built this like little kiosk, which now I really want to do that. Eventually we'll get to O'Hare. That's definitely on the list.
So to get to the Billy though, to the $1 billion, obviously you have competition, like the big competition, like Subway, Jimmy John's, and Portillo's. How do you plan to get there?
Well, do you eat at Subway?
Not really.
Do you eat at Jimmy John's?
Not anymore, no.
Do you, what was it, Potbelly's? Do you go to Potbelly's?
Yeah, I go Potbelly's.
How often?
Maybe like 3-4 times a month.
Okay, I like Potbelly's.
Yeah.
The other two brands are irrelevant, right? We don't go to Subway. We don't go to Jimmy John's anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing against their brands, but it's the same thing every single time. And their brand, like the vibes and the energy, like it's boring. And maybe that's why we don't go there. Jimmy John's was fun in the beginning, with the super fast, super freaky, whatever it is, delivery slogan that they did. But I was a driver too. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have faster delivery because I'm gonna get a fleet of electric scooters, and we're gonna do deliveries all around the city. Free deliveries too when you call directly to Gold Coast Cafe. These brands are irrelevant. I just look at them like their locations. If I go in and take some of their locations and convert them to Gold Coast cafes. They can thrive in those locations. I can thrive in the same locations or across the street from them. So competition is fun. I like it, you know. So when I look at them, I only look at like their footprint and like how many locations they have. And if they can have that many locations, then that means Gold Coast Cafe could be just like that, if not more. And it will be more.
So like you're really good at marketing. Where do you think you learned that from?
Door-to-door sales.
How is that? Like, speak more on that. Like,
So that was my college. So I've told you guys before, but my highest education was 8th grade. I did 1 year. My highest education in the United States was 8th grade. And when I graduated 8th grade, I went to Jordan for a year. I moved to Jordan for a year. And I went to a private American school, which was probably the biggest joke ever. My parents, you know, wasted all that money for nothing because I didn't learn anything. But because it was a private American school and we were paying, we didn't have to really do anything. They didn't care, you know, as long as our parents were paying, like we got to do whatever we wanted. They passed us and whatever. So that's why I moved back to Chicago and I started working. I left the restaurant business and I got into door-to-door sales because it was uncapped commission. So I can make as much as I want to. That was the main reason why I did it, because I needed to get back on my feet. So I just needed uncapped income. And then, you know, it turned into like a management training program. So the more I got to learn and see in the business, I got to learn, you know, a lot. I was able to, you know, start building a team and developing people and probably talk to like 1 million people doing door-to-door sales. I did it for 7 years, from 2012 to 2018. How many years is that? 6? Yeah, 6 years. Yeah. I did it for 6 years. And I did it all over Chicago, all over Minnesota. I did it all over Iowa, Spokane, Washington, Seattle as well. I did Scottsdale, Arizona. I did Sacramento, California. I did a bunch of small towns across the state of Illinois. DC, I did New York. I did almost every state.
Wow. And what do you think is the toughest thing that door-to-door sales taught you? Like one of the things that you're just like, man.
It taught me to not take no for an answer, to not give up.
See all those videos on TikTok where like you see them go up to doors and like the guy's like, nah, I don't want that. But they keep pushing. Like they're just like, oh.
So we used to have a rule: 2 no's and go.
Okay.
Yeah. So if a customer said no twice, then you would just leave. Like, I mean, at least for me, like I'm not gonna like force somebody to buy something that they don't want. I mean, I was good enough in sales that like I'm gonna get my sales for the day anyways. So I would never force anybody, and you know, I was a top performer doing it.
How much money were you making like at your peak?
At my peak, I was making like 30 grand a week.
How old were you at this age?
I was 26.
Wow, that's real math. That's real cash coming in.
Yeah, real income.
Yeah.
Straight to my bank account.
So like,
I had to pay my taxes.
so like, what were you doing with that money at that age?
Man, I was spending it. You know, I made a ton of mistakes. I travel. I mean, I guess they're not mistakes. I could have maybe prepared myself or invested it. I had the mindset that I'm going to keep making it. Like, it's not going to stop. And then it stopped. And then there was no money.
So making like, well, what, around 80K, 30K, so 80K a month around there. If you could get that back or do that right now, what would you invest in? What would you do differently?
I would have probably opened small businesses, more small businesses. I've always had a big picture mentality, but it was for a different business. That business failed. That dream with that business failed with it. Yeah, I would have invested in small business. I would have, you know, created like opportunities for my family. You know, a business for, you know, my dad maybe to be in, for my siblings, for my family, something that's like forever.
Have you gone skydiving?
You can't pay me to do that. There was a time I used to fly. Man, if I show you like my tickets, like on the, you know how it saves on your phone. I used to fly maybe like 6 times a week, right? Let's just say on average 4, because some weeks I wouldn't travel or I wouldn't travel as much. But you know, when I lived in Minnesota, if I want to come out to Chicago for my mom was making Luba, I'm getting on that 45-minute flight and I'm flying into Chicago, and then I'm flying right back the same day. Right? So for a good little while, I didn't have a problem with flying because I got so used to it, and I would just like sleep. And then there was like one incident on one flight that I was on, and it completely like restarted my like anxiety for flying. So I get like really bad anxiety. Like I get so stressed that like I like sometimes like right when I'm about to walk into the plane, I'm getting ready to walk back. Like I can't do it. From here to LA is like what, 30 hours? And then I'm like, fuck that. I'm not trying to do 30 hours compared to a 3.5-hour flight to LA.
Okay, so would you do skydiving or go in a cage with sharks? Like shark dive in a cage?
Yeah, I'll skydive.
Really?
Yeah.
I hate sharks, but I'll go down in the ocean. I don't know why.
Nah, because like, hey, when you're in the ocean, they have the advantage. You're slower.
But you're in a cage. You're in a shark cage.
Oh, in the cage?
Yeah. You're maybe like 20 feet
But
down.
I don't know, man. I've seen some clips, man, where some of these cages, malfunction, and people get eaten up. At least skydiving, you won't suffer. If the shoe does, you just it's it, you're done. The shark, you gotta wait till he's done eating you. I mean, I wouldn't do either, to be honest. Like you'll never catch me like doing either. I'll never go out of my way to go swim with sharks or skydiving.
What's like the best thing you ever spent your money on? Like, it could be an investment. Actually, no, not an investment. Like something that like gave you the best memory.
Honestly, when I give my mom money, that's the best thing that I can ever do, is provide and give my mom. Any gift that I've ever given her was the best thing I've ever done. I'm a big mama's boy.
Nah, yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, so like, honestly, everything I do now in my life is for my mom and my family. I've never really splurged on myself. I've never been into like designer. I've never been into like jewelry. I've never been into like, I like nice cars. I've had my fair share, but then sometimes, you rough these cars up a little bit. You got to get rid of them because, it gets costly. But yeah, no, I love spending on my family. I think about like the next like big family vacation I want to take my family on. The first thing that I'm going to do like when I reach a certain goal is I'm going to take both my parents and my oldest brother, Hisham. I want to take him to do Umrah, which is one of our pilgrimages that we do in Mecca. And I want to do that with my family. That would be probably the greatest thing I can ever do, is taking them with me.
I keep hearing right now that economically everything's going to crash. So if someone wants to open like a business right now, let's just say like mid-20s, have like 20K, would you recommend that? And if yes, how should they play it?
Well, if you have 20K and you're trying to open a small business, don't open a small business. 50,000 is probably like the minimum, and that's if you find a turnkey option. But if you have 20,000 saved up and you're in your 20s and you have another friend that has 20,000 saved up, and then maybe a third and a fourth friend, and you guys combine that together, that's anywhere from 20,000 to 80,000. Now you can start a real business, and you have a four-way partnership. And if you have that money saved up, you're opening your business debt free. But you just have to find like the right group to do it with. If you have 20,000 saved up in your 20s in today's day, I mean, good for you. Keep it going. Don't spend. Sacrifice more. Sacrifice unnecessary spending and keep saving. They've been saying the economy is going to crash for like 2 years now. So at this point now, I think it's propaganda. I don't think it's real. I think that, businesses are opening. I think the old businesses are done. I think they're outdated. Everything caught up with these guys. They just don't want to restart their businesses again. They've probably done it for like 20, 30 years, and they don't want to go through that whole process again of starting from zero. So I think that's why you see a lot of businesses closing down, but that's really up to like the younger generation to really just, go in there and take advantage of these opportunities. A lot of these businesses are turnkey option. Really don't need that much of an investment, maybe just inventory. They've been saying it for a couple of years now. It's propaganda. It worked almost on me a little bit. I let it cause me stress at one point, operating the market. But when I stopped paying attention to it, I started to thrive, right? When I stopped listening to like what they're telling us, like how things are going to be, the only inflation that you really see is just like gas prices went up.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe some goods went up like for food and whatnot. It's propaganda. I don't think it's real. I think that, some areas are struggling, but because people move around. I mean, this area right here, every month you get new people, and every month you lose people because people are moving every month. So you're always, and I mean, Chicago's thriving. I think the government just makes it seem like it's not, or at least they act like they're not, because they let crime be.
It's not as bad as like the media makes it seem to be. Like, you can walk around, like, at least how my experience has been, like, you can walk around and not get like hijacked or anything like
Yeah,
that.
Chicago is a safe city. Probably it is the greatest city in the country, in the world. We have everything. We have a lakefront. We have a beautiful city, as you guys can see. Good vibes, good energy out here, especially in the summer. I mean, summertime shy. You can't, go wrong with that. But the people here are different. The media makes it seem it's a lot. They would rather promote the violence because that's what sells. I mean, even like for me, with my videos on Instagram, when I would post like for the market, the most thriving videos are the videos of me posting of like from like security camera footage. And those go viral. Like on TikTok and on Instagram, it gets crazy viral. Like I archive it or delete it right away because I'll feel bad. But everything else, no one cares about. So the media is the same way. They would rather push violence, that propaganda, because it sells. It's what people pay attention to. everyone's always scared, which is a sad way to live. And then we look around and we see like, you know, our local government or on a small level or larger level, like we see that, you know, that they're not doing anything about whatever crime that's happening is unnecessary. A lot of it could have been avoided. Drama sells, violence sells, anything negative sells, like negativity sells. Like you want videos to go viral, just post negative stuff and you'll go viral. Like people are entertained by violence.
It's true. No, it's true.
Yeah. It's the world that we live in right now. I mean, it's only here in the States. That's it. It's not like that anywhere else. You know, it is what it is. I walk around the city. We move comfortable. We have no problems with nobody. I've never ran into any issues or encountered anything. I know a lot of people claim that they do, and some people do, and some people don't. But, you know, some people just ride the wave and they ride the hype. My friend got carjacked. I'm going to go around and tell people that I got carjacked. Oh, you know, I'm going to use that person's story because people are just like, you know, have gone mad. I hear some crazy stuff. I try to like not focus on that stuff anymore. You know, that negativity, that it's just bad energy. It distracts you from like building your future. It controls you. That negativity and that kind of propaganda, you know, controls you. Like it's like you're told to follow instructions and rules and live a certain way, and you're supposed to wait. And then I'm like waiting, and nothing's changing, and we're going backwards in life. So I'm like, well, what the fuck do? I just need to stop focusing on that. I need to just chase after my dreams and focus on my business.
Well, I have a question with you on that then, with the businesses. So in this day and age, do you think, you know how old businesses or people already with business for like past 50 years, do you think they can still be successful without social media? Because I know a lot of people don't like to transition to change.
Everything costs money. So it really just depends on, you know, sometimes businesses don't get involved in social media because they can't afford to. Everything is expensive. Everyone has a price and then everyone's price is ridiculous, right? And so small businesses can't afford that. They would rather just not have to deal with it and just pray and hope that like their brand or reputation can, you know, bring in business. But I think that if they do have the money to, you know, promote their businesses online, yeah, they should. I think that if you have a restaurant or a business, you should be doing podcasts. I think podcasts is the biggest way to get your brand out right now. I mean, there's
the short clips, yeah.
Cut clips, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Just like you're talking about your brand. You know, these videos, if they catch the algorithm, you're good. So you know, you build your business. I mean, I've done all my social media marketing for GoldCoast Market and I've spent $0.
Really smart, and the way you like manage it, it's like it catches my eye. It makes me be like, oh shit, where's this place? Like
it's the vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's the vibe. That's it. And I think that, you know, people feel that energy and want to be around it. I don't have money to spend on social media. I'm friends with a lot of, you know, people that have followings, and, you know, if they come in and they want to show support, that's on them. If they don't, it's cool. I didn't start my businesses to cater to my friends. We cater to the neighborhoods that we're in because those are the people that shop with us every day.
And the more you grow, I know you want to help the city too as well. What do you plan to do with the community? Let's just say you already have 20 locations already around the city and you have like steady income, really good profit. How do you plan to help the city grow as a community?
Bring people together, events, really cool experiences. Been, you know, fortunate enough to, you know, travel and get to experience different cultures and different energies and vibes from people. And I feed off of that, and I want to share that with the people around me. And I want them to feed off that energy that I'm getting. I think it's just all positive. Good vibes.
I asked too because it was cool though. The other day when you had, like, we already discussed a little bit, like with the taco stand and having everyone just together and stuff. Like it kind of,
yeah, like that vibe.
Yeah,
like that was like a New York vibe.
Yeah,
you know, like that felt like the amount of like people that were hanging out and just socializing on a corner on Chicago and Clark. And then we had our friend family, they do like this pop-up tacos, and they popped up with their grill and they made tacos. We were giving out free tacos for the whole neighborhood. Like, I want to do more things like that. I want to give back to the communities. I mean, look, I live in the neighborhood that I work in.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, the money that I make, it gets reinvested right back into the neighborhood. So the more money I make, the more I can fill up these vacancies, like, with these, like, small businesses that are going out of business. I don't want to just expand, like, my cafe. I want to get into other businesses and stuff like that. So I think the cafe is just, like, the foundation. It's going to create and open up more doors for me because the cafe, you know, it's in motion. It's going. And it's not slowing down. It's only getting bigger, and it's gonna be like the, you know how In-N-Out is for West Coast. Yeah. Like once I figure out like that key signature like food item, and we're known for that, like that's what we're gonna be known for.
We're gonna want to travel to Chicago to try GoldCoast Cafe.
Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, people do it right now. People drive from all over. For people, I've had people come from out of town to try our cafe. They see us online. I mean, you know, we've trended a few times, like, you know, certain things that we've done. So people see us and hear about us. I mean, it also helps when you get like celebrity visits. I always take advantage of those opportunities for marketing. I would always plug my cafe because, you know, that's like when people are paying attention the most.
Yeah.
You know, I'll see like the stats and like, you know, I study every single thing. I'm really trying to perfect this. Like I'm going to perfect it.
Yeah.
I try to throw my cafe in the mix. I run the Gold Coast Market page. I run the Gold Coast Cafe page. To me, those are both brands go hand in hand together. I mean, the cafe started in the market. You know, it was birthed out of the market.
You guys are doing good. It's always packed all the time
Yeah.
you go there. What's like the signature thing that you want to go? Like Chicago style or want to go more culture? Like that signature style dish that you just want to blow up?
It could be both. It could be a mix of culture and, you know, Chicago. You know, my family, I'm from the South Side. I grew up on the South Side. So maybe figuring out ways to like mix in like, you know, my culture and Chicago, or it could just be a Chicago dish. I mean, I don't know. I take every day by day. I plan big, but, you know, I have like these short tasks that I have to complete before I get to like my big goal. You know, the big goal is to have that signature sandwich, but I'm not in a rush to do it. You know, I can probably build, you know, 10 locations maybe before I find that one sandwich. Maybe my 11th location is when I'll figure out what our signature dish is. Because, you know, as I continue to keep growing, I'm going to keep surrounding myself with people that are smarter than me, that are really good at what they do in whatever field that they're in. And maybe there'll be a chef that will come in and want to contribute an idea that we can bring to life at the cafe and work out deals and make a shit ton of money and build a future for everybody. Everyone that's involved is a part of this. You know, it's not just me. You know, my team, everyone that works at the cafe, you know, I want to see them thrive. I want to see them run their own locations, give them shares in some of the locations, whatever, you know, give them some skin in the game so they can keep working and build for their future. I'm comfortable with my lifestyle. For me, what I make is I want to give back and take care of my family. I don't think I'm going to live any more than what I'm currently living. I think this is the most extravagant lifestyle that I'll live right now, and I don't do anything.
I was gonna say, just off topic, like my dad's a chef too, so
Hey, bring that recipe, bring that family recipe. We'll put it together.
I don't know, he's an executive chef over there in Connecticut, but I was gonna say, you never want to mix your like seafood. I don't know if you can eat seafood, but like a lobster sandwich. I don't know, I'm just throwing out ideas.
Yeah, we could eat seafood. We don't eat pork. It's really bad for you.
Yeah.
I don't like seafood. I barely started eating sushi. Yeah. And there's like certain ones I don't like the raw stuff and like, oh, I think this is nasty. Yeah. I like burgers. I really want to put you know what I think it's going to be for Gold Coast Cafe? My favorite food is burgers. I love burgers. I love a good burger. The best one is in St. Paul, Minnesota at the Nook. It's called the Juicy Lucy. Man, maybe a burger because I love burgers. I can't wait to be able to like sell burgers. But, you know, I don't have a hood system in my cafe right now and we can't put one on. But the second location, you know, we're going to make sure it has a hood. That's when the menu will start to expand and I'll start adding things like a burger. You know, I thought about buying a food truck and parking it in front of the cafe and then I just grill burgers on it.
Lollapalooza and Summer Sash, that'd be dope.
No, I would just leave it in front of the cafe. If somebody orders a burger, we just went outside and like start grilling the burger. Yeah, and then, you know, we do like pop-ups and stuff like that. I'm going to do it. I will do it. It's just not the right time for it. I got to open up a few more locations. But I definitely will do a food truck at some point.
Yeah, that's dope. That's cool. I like that the burgers, you're going to different aspects and pivoting to different foods. That's actually pretty cool.
I was on a road trip, a 4-hour road trip. I try not to listen to music when I'm driving. I just don't like listening to music while I'm driving. I like to just like no sound and just peace and quiet. And I'll just, that without the will of Allah, like none of that's possible. And I think that like, you know, me getting into the liquor business was a lesson for me, or maybe a wake up call for me to, you know, to see, because it's great money. It opens up plenty of doors, but there's still something missing. And it didn't sit well with me because I don't drink. And I was really good at selling it. Kind of bothered me a little bit. And I meeting Umar Suleiman, feeling whatever I felt from him, and then, you know, starting to pray and asking for forgiveness every single day. And I still do till this day. I think that I'm not choosing the worldly life anymore. I'm choosing the afterlife. This world doesn't offer me anything. The only thing that I can do now is provide for my family and create opportunities. If I'm in position and I'm the one that's winning right now, then I need to make sure that everybody around me is also winning. And I don't want to do it by committing sins and committing, you know, going against my religion and against the word of God. I gained a lot of experience. I got closer to my religion. Saw that it was taking me further away from my family because my time was so consumed with the business and I couldn't be around my mom and my dad, my nieces, my siblings. I decided I needed to change my lifestyle and I needed to be happy. I needed to like focus on me. This is the happiest I've ever been. I mean, I might not look like it right now just because I'm freezing. This is me getting out of my comfort zone doing this interview. I want people to remember me for Gold Coast Cafe, and I want to do good things for the community. I want to help, give back. I want to provide opportunities. If I can create opportunities for people that are struggling, come on, let's build together. I'm at the cafe all the time.
And you're here now, Hani. You're thriving right now. The cafe with the plans and all you have going on, and sharing all this stuff, your plans, what you want to do with not the market, but with the cafe, and it's evolving. It's only been a month, and you already changed the logo, you already changed the name, you already changed the menu, and we're fascinated with it, and we've tried the new foods, and I can't wait for all of you guys to actually try the new foods, because honestly, what he's doing, the work he's putting in, the hours he's putting in, something big is cooking, and it's showing real quick, and it's gonna happen like really, really quick too as well. So go check that out, Gold Coast Cafe. Any final thoughts on like what you plan to do with the cafe in the next coming week? Something big, an event, or something people should look out for?
Yeah, I'm working on something right now. I don't want to speak on it just because if it doesn't happen, come by, check us out. We have 99 cents medium iced coffee. We use dark matter coffee. We use their espresso blend, and we use their house blend. We have Philly steaks. We have a chicken Philly. We have, a bunch of really new and cool items that are really good. It's all really good. There's nothing on that menu that I wouldn't try. I mean, I've tried everything on that menu. If the outcome is income and something pops up tomorrow and it's going to help advance my cafe and make it better, I'm doing it. I'm just a kid with a dream, man. And, I don't have the education to back it up, but I have my work ethic to back it up. I have my experience to back it up. I'm not waiting for anyone to create it for me. I'm just going to do it myself. If someone wants to be a part of it and help me build this brand and this company, then come on, let's go. We can come up with excuses on why we are where we are and the life that we're living or the lifestyle or the situations that we're in. But, that's just, excuses, right? Stop giving excuses and start working. If you're in your 20s right now, I'm telling you, the biggest mistakes I made in my 20s was not saving and just waiting for things to happen. It's not going to happen. You have to do it yourself. They don't tell you that. They put you in debt, and then you get out to the real world and there's nothing there for you. If you can figure out while you're in school, finding jobs and creating any sort of income, go for it. If there's opportunities, sometimes your time is your best investment. It doesn't have to always be about money. There could be something bigger. Gold Coast Cafe is $1 billion business to me. That means there's going to be a team of people that are going to work with me that are going to be multi-millionaires. And these are going to be people that came from nothing, that probably don't have an education, that probably don't have, all they have is work ethic and integrity. Sometimes opportunities presents itself and people pass it up because they're so worried about how much am I going to make versus, what's the potential for this? Right? You think when Facebook started, when they started Facebook, you think the first 20 people that worked for them, you think it was all fucking glamorous for them in the beginning? No, but guess what? They're all millionaires. It's the people that catch it in the beginning. And if you watch, if you pay attention, if you look at every single company, and I've done this, I've studied this 10 times. If you look at every single company, from nothing, you build the right team, and then you build the brand. If you build the brand, it's over with. Plenty of people passed up on these opportunities. I think there's that one story with the guy from Apple. I think he sold his shares for a few $1,000s or something like that. I don't remember the exact number. We can look this up. It would have been worth billions now, but they gave up. Sometimes your time is your best investment for something really big. And if you're not willing to invest your time into something and you're just focused on the money so you can go out and party and drink and whatever, then that's all you're going to probably, not saying that's all you're going to do for your life, but you're definitely going to be behind. And then one day reality is going to hit you and rent's due and bills are due and the job is probably not there because, people decide to work for people where it's be your own boss. Entrepreneurship is easy if you surround yourself with the right people. If you have money saved up, invest it, open up a small business, find the right neighborhoods. Where's there the most foot traffic? Where's the most car traffic? The opportunities are there, but they scare people away from it because they don't want everyone to be an entrepreneur. They don't want everyone to be successful. Then who are they going to control? Because if you start making money, you realize that the system is rigged and it's against that. And if you get out of that system and you start making money and you create a better life for yourself, they can't control you anymore.
That's true. That's facts.
That's
right?
why entrepreneurs pay less in taxes than people that work 9 to 5.
Yeah, because they can afford to hire the right people to figure out the right loopholes. But they don't want that for everybody. They want people to struggle. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, I grew up differently, so I always had that go-getter mentality. I was always hungry. I always wanted to make money, and I always wanted to make the most amount of money I thought I could make. But yeah, man. So you just got to go out there and get it.
You guys heard this. You heard the legendary story. I'm sure there's going to be many parts to this still, too. We're going to have part 4, part 5, 5, 6. We're going to have Hani anytime he wants to hop on. But go check out the GoldCoast Cafe or GoldCoast Cafe Shy, right? You changed the name
Gold
to
Coast Cafe Shot, yeah, because I was debating between Gold Coast Deli or Gold Coast Cafe.
Okay.
But I couldn't get the Gold Coast Cafe Instagram account because someone dead probably has it. Because the thing is with the Gold Coast, cause it's also Australia. That's the real Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Is in Australia. So someone has it out there, I think. So I did Gold Coast Cafe Shy because I like the Gold Coast Cafe better than Delhi. Come check us out. If you mention this podcast in your 20s, you get what should we do?
EcoStar, not something with EcoStar.
Well, no, shout out to EcoStar. It's our official sponsor for this podcast. Really good water. It's in a glass bottle as well. No, we should do something free. Offer them something free, like a food item, or I want to do a sandwich. I feel like that's like more filling, right? They mentioned this podcast. You get one free sandwich, any sandwich you want, and it's limit 1 per person, and it's only going to be valid. What's today's date? Today is, hey, this is probably going to confuse people, like, because like we dropped these clips.
I'm going to drop this clip like probably the next 2 days.
Yeah. If you come in and you mention in your 20s, you will get a free sandwich.
And like and subscribe to GoldCoast Cafe Shy too as well.
Please. Yeah. Please come support us. I got to buy diapers for my baby. and baby formula. It's expensive.
It's tough out here, boys. But, yeah, so go look. We're going to post this. And, yeah, so go shout us out and go follow GoldCoast Cafe Shy. And
shout out to these guys, by the way. Legends. You guys are both legends. You guys are going to have the biggest podcast in Chicago, and I'm going to make sure of it. You guys are going to interview the biggest people that Chicago will have to offer. You guys will have the biggest podcast to ever come out of Chicago. Hands down. Facts. Like, backed by me and my whole team. Shout out to TVMG, Tunnel Vision Music Group. Shout out to Arab. That's my brother from day one. And we're going to make sure that you guys have the biggest podcast in Chicago.